What if everything you have ever learned about your life, your existence, your world, and your reality were a lie? After this video, you will know the truth. The story begins. An artificial intelligence AI computer system has 100% absolute dominant and completely unchallenged control of the world around you, past, present, and future. Until now, this has been one of the most guarded secrets of the Illuminati. For example, all of the following were scripted and or controlled events, people, and groups by this AI. Is nearly completely covered by artificial frequency web/net we call the internet. The AI has nearly 100% total control. The final steps are RFID chip all humans, dispose of paper money, and reduce the population to 500 million. All of your history was manipulated and scripted by this AI. All of the news is scripted and follow the script to the word. Your parents trusted the AI unknowingly and placed you with it and allowed it to teach you about life, love, relationships, war, and your history from age 1 week and onward. Technology, magic, and propaganda are brothers and sisters. Satan is their father.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
Well, a child's happiness is priceless, right? Especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on their birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially when it comes to their birthday.
Absolutely.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
Well, a child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's smile is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
You know, a child's happiness is priceless, especially
All
on a
news
birthday.
reporters,
A child's happiness is priceless, especially
all
on a
television
birthday.
personalities,
A child's happiness is priceless.
all politicians.
A child's happiness is
They're all
priceless, especially on a birthday.
paid
A child's
actors.
happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday.
A child's happiness is priceless, especially on a birthday. You like that?
Imagine the power of the knowledge of what it would take to program 7 billion people, to control 7 billion people's destinies. Inside the grip of the AI, you learned who was good and who was bad from the AI via the television, using programs to brainwash your minds. It taught you who to believe, who to like, and even who to hate. So convincing was the AI's channels that you would send your children to war against anyone who opposed its teachings and ideals. You sent your children to foreign countries, foreign lands, to murder millions they had never met for reasons that were never real.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God, what's happening?
The successful deception of millions worldwide
Really?
using a
I think it's
combination
all about
of
the World
directed
Trade Center.
energy weapons and traditional demolition explosives.
Oh my God!
The building's collapsing. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Oh, baby, hold Lily. Oh my God.
Come on, let's go to the other room.
Yeah. Is this dangerous?
I think it's just smoke.
Is the air conditioner turned off in the room? And the windows closed in the bedroom?
Near the area are an absolute crazy situation.
It was dust resulting from the energy weapon molecule particle separation.
Building just collapsed.
We're going to leave because the smoke is coming right at us.
Obviously, this is a devastating.
They're gone. They're gone. The World Trade Center is no more.
We do not know at this point
The AI used the event to convince the public, your mom and dad, and the U.S. military, your children, to attack multiple countries and murder millions
The war
of
with
men, women, and
Iraq
children.
is underway. The very
who did
first
nothing to
Tomahawk
deserve
cruise
it.
missiles and laser-guided bombs being launched from right here in the Persian Gulf and up from the Red Sea from within the Navy's 5th Fleet. The airstrike off of this carrier will be led by F-18 Super Hornets and F-14 Tomcats. But before they fly, weapons are loaded, and these attack planes will be going into battle with a full load. This F-18 Hornet is loaded down with 4 laser-guided bombs, 2 Sidewinder missiles up top here, and come and take a look. The tradition of any war, writing a message. Up yours, Saddam, signed from the Mickelson family.
I'm back, Obama, and I'm back because of your arrogant foreign policy towards the Islamic State, because of your insistence in continuing your bombings in Al-Mali, Zamara, and the Mossadegh, despite our serious warnings. You, Obama, have yet again, through your actions, killed yet another American citizen. So just as your missiles continue to strike our people, our knife will continue to strike the necks of your people.
Sadly, yes, they are all in on it. It controls them and the ones you trust the most. Your doctors treat symptoms and find no cures. Their heroin-based medications cause more illnesses and diseases. Then you need more treatments and medications and find yourself swirling out of control, addicted to medications and heroin-based painkillers, and leaving yourself wondering, how did this happen?
Do whatever you can to stimulate the local economy.
Heroin is the only thing bringing money into the area. Not that I like to think where the money's going to exactly, but money keeps the people happy, so we're rolling with that.
Can't they grow something else?
Yeah, they grow cotton. Cotton will grow here.
Why don't they grow cotton then?
Because the United States Congress will not allow any United States aid and development funds to be directed towards the cultivation of a crop that will end up on the world market in competition with U.S. farmers. Which pretty much rules out cotton.
Sure.
So we're growing heroin instead.
Right.
Here are just a few of our children that were sent to die for a lie. Here you click back and skip. They know the secrets it holds. The AI and its single controller wants and is getting cameras and ways to monitor everyone, everywhere, 24/7, 365.
These commuters are unaware. Their every move is being watched by next-generation surveillance cameras.
We can pass in the vehicles and tell what type of vehicles it is, and also it could detect the bicyclist, motorcyclist, and even recover their trajectory.
Dr. Xu runs SenseTime, a company helping China make surveillance cameras smarter.
We provide the embedded system that put AI technology inside the camera to help the camera to recognize face, recognize objects, and actually turning original video streams into structured data.
This includes real-time crowd analysis and even mood analysis. And China is the perfect testing ground. At this convenience store, registered customers enter with facial recognition. They buy items using their phones.
I like this store because I hate staff following me around.
It's more direct.
It's convenient.
Stores like these are symbols of what China calls smart cities. Incheon in Ningxia has become a model example. Here residents enter compounds with face recognition and track buses on their phones before leaving home. Transport can then be optimized based on user data.
They can take masses of user data and also other state data, like private company data, and figure out ways to make cities more livable, but also make cities more secure.
Under the banner of security and convenience, China's government now has data on almost all of its tech-savvy citizens, and technology for the most part has made cities better. Concerns, however, arise when technology itself begins to govern.
And that's already happening. Alibaba's Sesame credit system uses purchasing data to rate people's integrity, and it may offer a glimpse at a more sinister future. By 2020, China hopes to roll out a nationwide government-controlled credit rating scheme, in which people may be scored based on measurements like how quickly they repay loans and whether or not they jaywalk. Dan Epstein, TRT World, Beijing.
How much does your face say about you? Because it's about to launch 1,000 new applications.
A road diverges in the desert. Lexus. The road you're on, John Anderton, is the one less traveled. Make sure you are on time.
Good evening, John. You can move the old-fashioned John Anderton. Provides gourmet cuisine. John Anderton, you could use a Guinness right about now. Stressed out, John Anderton.
Escape from it all, Harrison. Get away, John Anderton. Forget your troubles.
Yakamoto. Welcome back to the Gap. How those assorted tank tops work out for you?
Mr. Yakamoto.
Hey, Miss Belfort, did you come back for another pair of those chamois lace-ups?
Already, some digital screens in Australia use facial recognition to show ads based on age and gender. The systems don't store personally identifying data, but beyond that, companies are refusing to comment. It's clearly a sensitive topic.
It's a very new industry. There are a lot of issues, both technology issues, but also issues to do with community acceptance and privacy that still need to be sorted out. Some of those issues are still very new, so issues to do with legislation and what people need to tell other people and transparency. Best practice is that people should be notified if their biometrics are being collected and if their biometrics are being matched.
But there's so much more in the pipeline than just ads.
The system is now searching for faces. Searching, searching. There, it's recognised me.
Okay, what happens when I walk in though? The system's never come across me before, as far as I know.
Entrepreneur Professor Brian Lovell has been developing cutting-edge facial recognition software for US and Australian security services.
This is what's called a non-cooperative system, meaning that it will get your identity without you necessarily knowing about it.
Now he wants to take it to the mass consumer market. He'll be loading his software into the latest augmented reality glasses from US company ODG. It will match who you see against a database of images and information.
So this whole system can be put onto a mobile or wearable device. So here I have some augmented reality glasses, and we have face recognition on these. So the same system on a set of glasses.
Built into it?
Yes, and if I stick these on, this gives you a full 3D heads-up display of the world, and you can use this to recognise faces. It puts a little box around your face and says this is the person I'm looking at, and some other information perhaps, like this person is late for a flight, or this person wants to order a cappuccino. You can have thousands of faces in it.
And what databases could it draw on?
Any face databases.
Like police databases, shopping databases, anything?
Passenger lists, these sorts of things, customer lists.
Look at all of the stuff that's going on this stoplight right here. You have the regular traffic camera that's farthest to the left there in your view. Then on the pole you have an eye in the sky camera, which is 360 degrees. Then you have what looks like two different types of antenna.
Not a third one under the traffic light.
Then there's another camera. And you've also got red light enforced traffic cameras, which are photo enforced, so they take your picture. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular cameras that I can see, plus what,
several antennas.
At least 2 eye in the sky cameras and several antennas. I mean, how many spy devices does society need to have on you at one traffic light?
You can tell how much it's cropped up. It's not even neatly kept. It's all just thrown on there.
There's more of them all over all these other ones too. All of them have cameras on them. It's insane. We are the most surveilled society on the planet. Look at this. How many different angles of my face are they going to get when I drive through this intersection? We are being spied on so much that when the Bilderberg Group last year asked, does privacy exist? It was a rhetorical question. They know it doesn't exist. Exactly. It was like, mwah, does your privacy exist? No, obviously they know it doesn't. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how much that is. That's insane. While in the background, someone is getting pulled over with multiple police cars over here. 3 cop cars to pull one guy over. Look at that. This is the world that we live in, you guys. We're like monkeys in an open-air cage. That's all there is to it.
What is it? It looks like a bell or something.
Yeah, what is that? I don't know what these things are anymore. And what about these mesh networks?
Well, they're putting up mesh networks in a lot of cities now. I read about Seattle. It's probably in other places where they're recording cell phone location data from every intersection, and they have Wi-Fi hotspots that show up on the network sometimes that say, you know, 1st Street and the cross section, 2nd Street and the cross section, and they're pinging drivers' cell phone location data without a warrant, of course, and routing it through a mesh network back through all the host of 8 or 9 or 10 law enforcement agencies, through the fusion centers where the FBI and Homeland Security work, and they're keeping data on absolutely everything in real time.
Oh my God, the phone just turned back on.
We've seen cell phones tracked on TV dramas like Criminal Minds.
Got it, it's just west of here, less than half a mile.
The police use similar methods to catch criminals. You can even track your friends on your own cell phone with their permission on a special app. But new reports now say the National Security Agency is running a massive program to track the locations of hundreds of millions of cell phones around the world. According to the Washington Post, the NSA collects nearly 5 billion cell phone location records a day. That's almost 58,000 records of call information and other data per second. The Post cites intelligence officials and documents provided by NSA leaker Edward Snowden. The NSA does it, the Post reports, to find unknown associates of people it's targeting for surveillance, people called co-travelers.
Let's say they're interested in tracking somebody represented here by the red dot, and they can tell where they are by accessing 3 different cell towers. As that person moves around a path, a certain number of people are going to be following the same general direction. As they move, fewer and fewer people are going down the same exact path. And say fewer people are there, and by the time they get to one other location, there's only one person who's been traveling the same path, and that's that green dot right there, the fellow traveler.
And they can track when 2 people arrive at the same location from different directions more than once. Cell phones are always emitting location signals even when you're not making a call, sometimes even when your phone's not turned on. A senior U.S. intelligence official tells CNN the NSA's phone location records collection is focused on foreign targets overseas. But the cell phone locations of innocent people, including Americans overseas, could be incidentally caught up in these sweeps, even though the NSA is not allowed to spy on Americans. A privacy advocate calls this an intrusive dragnet.
Location data reveals some of the most personal and private aspects of our lives. If we go to an abortion clinic or we go to an AA meeting, location data captures that, even if we're not telling anyone that we're going to those meetings.
The NSA would not comment on the Post report, but a senior U.S. intelligence official tells us the program operates so that a minimum amount of innocent American cell phone location data is caught up in this, and that it's removed from the database when it is collected. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
Imagine pinpointing your student's location while at school.
It'll be a reality at 2 Northside schools next year. The district has approved a tracking device for students. Joe Conger joins us live from NISD headquarters with the story. Joe.
Deborah, that's right. For about $10 to $15, these students will be able to get an ID that acts kind of like GPS for teachers and administrators.
Every parent wants us to know where their child is at school.
The 1,200 Cougars at Jones Middle School are about to get tagged.
It's going to give us the opportunity to track our students in the building.
Northside School District is piloting a program in the fall here and at Jay High School, a program that tracks students' movement through the halls and classrooms by radio frequency technology.
They may have been in the nurse's office, the counseling office, vice principal's office, but they were marked absent from the classroom because they weren't sitting in the classroom. So it will help us have a more accurate count of our attendance.
And attendance is everything. The district loses $175,000 a day in state funding because of tardy or absent kids. Tracking the ones that just didn't make it to first period may be a big payoff. And the RIFD chip promises to be student user friendly too.
Not just locating a student, but also checking out books out of the library, getting your food out of the cafeteria, access to a computer lab, etc.
I'm excited about that. It's almost like having a college ID again.
Despite a startup cost of more than $500,000, Northside officials say the chips implanted in the students' ID badges will pay for themselves. The district bean counters expect to gain more than $250,000 in attendance revenue from the state and more than $1 million from Medicaid because the district will be tracking special needs kids too. And Big Brother will have his limitations because that tracking will not be able to happen outside of the walls of those campus buildings or on those special needs buses. Reporting live, Joe Conger, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.
Do you know what kind of meter you have in your home? No, this isn't just my nerdy curiosity. This is actually something that you should be considering. Over recent years, there's been a huge push by energy companies working in conjunction with the government to install smart meters. What's a smart meter? Well, it's an electric meter that energy corporations allege will streamline how power consumption is monitored in your home. Check it out.
I'm Bob from Woodland, and this is my power. I used to watch my bill only once a month when it came in, and it got so high I thought I was powering the street light out front. Then I got the smart meter. They have a whole lot of little graphs that tell you on an hourly basis how much energy you're using. I show that to the family. I said, do you see this spike? That means a lot of money, so let's bring that spike down. Our family now is trained. We're not using them. Pull the plugs. That's why in my house, I'm known as the energy cop.
Energy cop, huh? Sounds terrifying, and actually not too far off from reality. Now get this. Power companies have been sending people to homes across the country to switch out the old analog meters for these brand new, all-digital smart meters. Remember that little guy that used to come to your house to measure your energy usage? They'd write it down on a little notepad and then send you a bill at the end of the month. Well, that little guy is out of a job. He's been replaced with smart meters equipped with RF chips, technology that allows power companies to monitor these devices without actually ever coming to your home. So just how smart are they? Well, not only do they rapidly record information by the hour, but they can determine just what type of energy you're using. Think about that for 1 second. It may not seem like too much intrusion, but consider this. Energy corporations will have precise data on your daily routines, when you wash your clothes, when you watch TV, when you leave your home, and when you come back. And if the notion that they know what you're doing and when you're doing it isn't disturbing enough, it gets worse. Because these devices are also capable of controlling, regulating, and even rationing your energy use. Take this for example. You're running your AC during those hot summer months, and the power company decides that you're using just a little too much power. Well, they can take it upon themselves to lower it, regardless of if you're willing to pay more for that extra usage. Another point to consider is what these companies can do with this information. Once they share it with law enforcement, it can, and believe me, it will be used against you. Cops will be able to know just what you're doing at all times in the privacy of your own home. Hey, who needs a telescreen when you have a smart meter? Secondly, these corporations can sell this information about our daily lives for data mining and advertising. It's disturbing on so many levels. Yet, these little surveillance units are being implemented across the country without the public's consent, and in many cases without their knowledge that they're even being installed. And it's leading to an array of problems. Check it out.
This is a smart meter. It uses electromagnetic frequency to send DTE information about power use. This gets rid of the need for meter readers and notifies the power company about outages. But some say such meters are making them sick.
I couldn't understand why I was feeling so foolish.
First, a warning.
And so I came back and tried to put my hand in front of him like this.
Then a scuffle.
And he just kept pushing me away and pushing me away. And
what was the guy after?
This meter.
Yep, an electric meter. He wanted to replace it with the new one like this, a so-called smart meter. Problem was, Thelma Taormina wanted to keep her old one. She had put up warning signs to leave it alone. But the worker wouldn't listen, so Taormina grabbed her gun.
Her lights are out. Her electric meter has stopped spinning. But this is not due to a storm or for failing to pay her bill. It's because this self-employed photographer has refused to allow a new smart meter in her home. Result, a lineman pulled up and disconnected her from the grid.
Yes, companies are actually threatening to shut off your power if you refuse to allow a smart meter to be installed in your home. Look, guys, it may seem like you don't have a choice in this, but these meters are not mandatory yet. You don't have to subject yourself to unknown health risks or increased utility costs. You most certainly don't have to give up your privacy to private corporations. What you have to do is be bold enough to say no.
Hey everybody, Peter with The Verge, and we're taking another look at the Samsung Family Hub, which, if you haven't guessed, is a refrigerator with a giant touchscreen. We saw this announced at CES this year in Las Vegas, and now we actually get to use the thing, and it's not just in demo mode. Let me tell you about it. It's running on Tizen. It's got this big 1080p touchscreen, and it does a bunch of stuff that you would expect a family gadget to do. So we open this thing up, and it's like your family calendar, and you can put photos on it, whatever. Hit this crazy home button on this insane Android-like button row, but it's actually running Tizen. Go back home. The coolest thing is MasterCard has made an app that can shop from FreshDirect or ShopRite or a few other grocery stores, so you can order groceries directly from the fridge. So you can add stuff to the cart. There's also a smartphone app that goes along with it, so you can look at your cart from your smartphone and you can just go shopping. We'll go back home again. It's got Pandora, so there's speakers somewhere inside this thing. There's another button here, View Inside. If I hit that, I'm looking at a picture of the stuff inside the fridge. What they do is they have cameras that are hidden right here in the door, and every time you close the fridge, the cameras take a picture, so you can, from your smartphone or from the insane touchscreen on the door, look at what happened in your fridge. So we'll close that, give it a tick, and this image will refresh with the stuff I just moved around inside the fridge, but we're not gonna wait for it. So in terms of like raw power, you don't buy a giant touchscreen fridge because it's got awesome specs, but maybe you buy it because you want to draw on it. Other things I can show you on this fridge, it does have voice control, so you can turn that on and off, but that's not working on this unit right now. You can also slide over to get a bunch of other stuff. You can't add your own apps to it, but it's got these apps built in. You can mirror your television, so whatever's playing on your Samsung TV will play on this thing. You can just go to the internet. It gives us a phone layout on a giant screen. You can, of course, do fridge things. So if we open up the Fridge Manager app, you can change the temperature settings for each section. You can turn off the door alarm. You can turn on the ice maker, and you can look at recipes. There you go. It's the Samsung Family Hub Smart Fridge. If you like ridiculous things, I don't see how you don't love this thing. If you want to see more videos of ridiculous things, you should check out Circuit Breaker at The Verge, and of course The Verge on YouTube. You should subscribe to us. We're at youtube.com/The Verge. I'm in the kitchen with a rather unusual guest. I'm here with Alexa. This is Alexa in the form of an Amazon Echo. It's a personal voice assistant from Amazon. It works with hundreds of different products out there, but this is the first time that she's ever come into the kitchen to help out. And that's thanks to a set of skills that GE Appliances developed called Geneva. They let you do everything from check to see how long is left in the dishwasher, if the laundry's done, if the dishes are clean. But why should I tell you what she can do when she can speak for herself? Alexa, start Geneva.
Hi, I'm Geneva. I can control your appliances, or you can ask me for help. What would you like to do first?
Alexa, tell Geneva to preheat the oven at 350 degrees.
I've set your oven to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Alexa, ask Geneva how much time's left on the dishwasher.
Your dishwasher is preparing to wash with 1 hour 51 minutes remaining.
Now, the way that GE was able to make this happen is they already had a suite of connected appliances. They already had Wi-Fi connectivity in them, so they added in the voice recognition part, and now they work with possibly what is one of the most popular smart home devices that's hit the market ever.
So voice has been something on our radar for quite some time because we saw the value of having the extra hand in the kitchen. Your hands are always dirty. Being able to speak to a device instead of having to go wash them or touch the device and then have to clean it later. So voice really expands what you can do in the kitchen.
Alexa, tell Geneva to set a cook timer for 10 minutes.
Got it. Your oven's kitchen timer has been set for 10 minutes.
Alexa, tell Geneva I want cookies.
You'd like me to set your oven bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for cookies, right?
That's right.
I've set your oven to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for cookies.
Another cool thing about the setup is because the Wi-Fi is already built in and because the Amazon cloud setup is already existent, new skills might be able to come along. So there might be a day in the future that you can customize a recipe. It's not necessarily grounded to right now, it's a bit future-proof as well because it's based on this Amazon technology. It's actually pretty easy to get it all working. If you're shopping for appliances, go to geappliances.com. You'll get a list of all the connected products that will work with this new Alexa skill. Once you buy it, you just have to download an app, connect connect it to your Wi-Fi network one time, download the skill to Alexa, and then you can start talking to your oven.
The OnStar Stolen Vehicle Slowdown feature is a tremendous product for the law enforcement community.
My officers have worked with OnStar many times in the past to stop stolen vehicles. The OnStar equipment is very helpful in slowing those cars down and stopping my officers and citizens from being injured.
When we're ready to make a stop, OnStar can slow the vehicle down. That way we're not chasing the vehicle at a high rate of speed. It doesn't put the public in danger or us in danger. It makes our job a lot easier.
Anytime that we can have high-speed pursuits eliminated and also still take care of the criminal justice system and put crooks in jail and take care of the citizens, I fully support.
This is the next generation of surveillance. For the first time, we actually have permission from the government to show the basic capabilities. It is important for the public to know that some of these capabilities exist.
Engineer Yanis Antoniadis designed the new sensor, known as Argus. With 1.8 billion pixels, it's the world's highest resolution camera. Argus fits inside this pod that attaches to the belly of a UAV. But because much of the work is classified, we can't see the sensor itself.
Because we are not allowed to expose some of the pieces that make up the sensors, so you get to look at pretty plastic curtains.
Also known as Wide Area Persistent Stare, Argus is the equivalent of having up to 100 predators look at an area the size of a medium-sized city at once. This image was taken 17,500 feet above Quantico, Virginia, and covers 15 square miles.
This whole image is at a very, very fine resolution. So if we wanted to know what is going on in any spot along this image, say near this building at this intersection, we can generate a moving image that shows what's going on in the area.
Simply by touching the screen, Antoniadis has opened up a window showing a detailed area, while still maintaining the broader context.
And everything that is a moving object is being automatically tracked. The color boxes represent that the computer has recognized the moving objects. You can see individuals crossing the street. You can see individuals walking in parking lots. There's actually enough resolution to be able to see the people waving their arms or walking around, what kind of clothes they wear. And you could pick the location of where you produce these images anywhere in the entire field of view.
Antoniadis can open up to 65 windows at once and can see objects as small as 6 inches on the ground.
From even 17,500 feet, the white thing that you see flying around is a bird.
Argus streams live to the ground and also stores everything, 1 million terabytes of video a day, which is the equivalent of 5,000 hours of high-definition footage.
So you can go back and say, I would like to see what happened at this particular location 3 days, 2 hours, 4 minutes ago, and it would actually show you exactly what happened as if you were watching it live.
To create the world's highest definition camera, Antoniadis needed to design a new imaging chip. But DARPA, the project's funder, wanted to move fast and keep costs down. So he borrowed technology that most people have in their pockets.
Inside this cell phone, okay, we find a tiny little camera. So if you were to take off the majority of it, you'd be left with an imaging chip. If you were to take 368 of these and make a big mosaic out of them and start shooting images, now you have Argus.
Unlike the Predator camera that limits field of view, Argus melds together video from each of its 368 chips to create a 1.8 billion pixel video stream. This makes it possible to zoom in and still see tremendous detail. Whether Argus has been deployed in the field is classified.
I'm not at liberty to discuss plans with the government, but if we had our choice, we would like Argus to be over the same area 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. that's not very easily achievable with manned platforms, this is where UAVs come in, and they're absolutely the perfect platform.
Argus may be mounted on an armed UAV like the Predator, a long-range platform like the giant Global Hawk, or a development craft called the Solar Eagle that may someday stay aloft for years at a time.
The U.S. Air Force right now has the ability to archive every single video that comes off of every single UAV. We're moving to an increasingly electronic society where our movements are going to be tracked.
There are over 7,190,000,000 cellular phones in the world with cameras, with microphones, and Wi-Fi. There are 300 million business security cameras installed in the world. There are over 500 million personally installed consumer cameras worldwide. There is over 150 million Wi-Fi hotspots in the world. There is over 1 million cellular towers in the world. There is over 10 billion Wi-Fi networks operating online at this moment. There is one AI that connects and controls it all, sees it all, it hears it all, it knows it all. It is the all-seeing AI, aka Eye of Satan. Almost all these statistics will double in just the next few years. So who is the ultimate entity behind the AI technology that is running the world? It's not a person. They are the Guardians, aka the fallen angels. They live in Antarctica, mostly under the ice layer. They cannot handle direct exposure to the sun. It was different back thousands of years ago. There was a thick layer of water-type atmosphere that is now mostly gone. They are adapted well naturally for cold temperatures. Their home planet was very cold and dark with lots of H2O. The AI system they control requires these extreme low temps to function as well. They are depicted in the Book of Enoch and on many ancient scrolls and hieroglyphs. They are in communication directly with the Illuminati and a few elite public figures. They do the bidding of their one master, Satan, the king of the air. Understand that God can see all, however Satan cannot. Satan wants to be able to see and watch everything just like God. However, Satan has to be invited into your life in order to influence and take over it. Each camera, each cell phone, each smart device gives Satan, his fallen angels, and his minions the ability to take over the world, all because we chose to invite him in. We were warned about it. We asked for it. We allowed it. We silently consented to it. Get ready for total domination of the world during the next 7 years of tribulation, which started on 24th of September 2017. It was blood sacrifice, blood over intent at the Harvest Festival in Las Vegas, Nevada, where a 1-hour purge event was allowed in celebration, and the final peg in the board again to gain the momentum needed to get more cameras, more security, more high-tech surveillance, all leading up to the nowhere to hide purge of the believers of Jesus Christ via mandatory RFID chips. Refuse to chip, into the FEMA camp you go, and off with your head if you will not turn your back on Christ. Here is proof the scripting is done years to decades in advance and refined as the date approaches. Only AI could do this. Antarctica is not what you think it is, or where you think it is, nor how big you think it is. The illusion of an ice-barren land could not be further from the truth. There are multiple climates, with at least one with temps in the 70s. There are multiple levels and layers of the surface areas that are habitable. One huge area is beneath the ice, with the sun shining down through the ice into a hollow area with fresh, free-running water, open green meadows with temps hovering around freezing. At one location on this level, the roof of the ice world is open to the sky, and fresh air exchanges down through the whole system. Temps in this location are in the 50s Fahrenheit all day and not below 30s Fahrenheit at night. The light refracts off the pure water ice surfaces over and over, providing near daylight conditions for miles away from the openings. Animals, insects, and intelligent life that we have never before seen exists here, but in controlled numbers and variety. Some thought to have died millions of years ago, such as the woolly mammoth. You see, the resonant frequencies are different due to a smaller second sun, only 1/20th the size of the sun we all know. The sun we all know lies low on the horizon all day. The micro-sun is fixed in a small orbit in the Antarctic southern sky. Its orbit is so small it can only be seen on the Antarctic coastlines from time to time. This should help explain why the daylight is so strange when observed from Antarctica observatories along the coastlines. Photos and videos are captured from time to time of it. Here is footage captured in September of 2017 of the micro-sun. Observe the shadows it produces on the ground as it moves overhead. There goes the micro-sun coming down and around. On a separate note, it is supposedly night because we can see the stars, so notice there are no lights on in the buildings below. microsun has set. You'll now watch the lights in the buildings and outside around the area. Come on. And what is this that looks like an explosion? And here comes lights out for nighttime. Antarctica is the largest continent on the planet of unknown proven size. It has never been successfully mapped by man and likely never will, due to the magnetic flux that exists in the most southern locations, not to mention the unmapped areas of inner Earth, however that may exist. Finally, it does appear that there is an unmapped area, also known as a level, that exists as well. It sits in the sky, according to Admiral Byrd of Operation High Jump. Just the name High Jump tells you about what the mission was about. They were attempting to make their way to the city they had seen in the sky. Byrd referred to it, the enchanted continent in the sky. Another highly interesting quote is, "The area beyond the pole is the center of the great unknown." Byrd is also quoted saying the area in the sky is as big or bigger than all of North America. All of these and the many writings of Byrd, in conjunction with in consideration of all the other sources of information, as well as my own visions I have seen, leave me to the conclusion, or with the conclusion, that there is not much difference between the North and the South Poles so far as location, if you understand what I'm saying, and that there are multiple planes of existence and multiple intelligent life forms that inhabit the different levels. The focus of this video, however, is the existence of the underworld at the bottom of Lake Vostok, inside in massive caverns expanded and developed by what we all know as Satan's fallen angels. Here are some of the goals that the AI wants and is currently scripting for, and it was scripted for the television program X-Files.
Not only by corporate greed, but a darker objective. The takeover of America. And then the world itself, by any means necessary, however violent, or cruel, or efficient. By severe drought, brought on by weather wars, conducted secretly using aerial contaminants and high-altitude electromagnetic waves, in a state of perpetual war, to create problem, reaction, solution scenarios to distract, enrage, and enslave American citizens at home, with tools like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act, which abridge the Constitution in the name of national security. The militarization of police forces in cities across the U.S., the building of prison camps by the Federal Emergency Management Agency with no stated purpose, the corporate takeover of food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, even the military in clandestine agendas to fatten, dull, sicken, and control a populace already consumed by consumerism. And I encourage you all to go shopping more. A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes, and the final takeover begins.
The takeover of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed multinational group of elites that will cull, kill, and subjugate.
Happening as we sit here.
It's happening all around us.
The other shoe waiting to drop.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
Digital money will disappear. They can just steal your money? Followed by the detonation of strategic electromagnetic pulse bombs to knock out major grids.
What will seem like an attack on America by terrorists or Russia.
Or a simulated alien invasion, using alien replica vehicles that exist and are already in use. An alien invasion of the U.S. The Russians tried it in '47. You can't say these things.
I'm going to say them tomorrow.
It's fear-mongering, claptrap, isolationist, techno-paranoia, so bogus and dangerous and stupid that it borders on treason. Saying these things would be incredibly irresponsible. It's irresponsible not to say it. Especially if it's the truth.
This video was originally released as a rental-only video for 99 cents on 28 October 2017. At that time, I said I'd be making it free for all as soon as the rentals for the video slowed down. So here we are 10 days later and you just watched it. It was intended to get the viewer to look at the big picture of what is going on and the control system that is being used to control you, me, hell, all of us. There are no humans, organizations, corporations, governments, or of the like that can plan effectively, function, and orchestrate such clearly planned and controlled serial propaganda events that have no end. The length, height, and depth of the rabbit hole combined with the dedication and planning and strategy required could only be accomplished by an intelligence only interested in the consummation of the goal, no matter the monetary cost or the cost of human blood or life. It has to be AI. Here's some honest disclosure for you about the rental results. 2 weeks editing time, it was what it cost me, 112 hours. Achieved 100 renters, 99 cents per rental charged, 48 cents actual payout, $48 was YouTube's cut, $48 was my cut. 112 hours of editing time, which paid me out at 42 cents per hour. Overall, I'm pleased that 100 people rented my first paid video release. However, as you can likely calculate, that is a tough way to survive or generate an honest revenue. I have in the works several projects that should solve the problem, and I and other truther YouTubers are dealing with these days, which is how to survive. As promised, I hope you enjoy the 100% free copy you just watched. If you at this time would wish to support my work, please send donations via PayPal to logicbeforeauthority@gmail.com. All donations are greatly appreciated, and you have no idea how much they are needed. If you're new to my channel, please take a second and subscribe and click the little bell button so that you'll be notified when I release new videos. I am Daniel Alexander Cannon, and you've just watched a video on Logic Before Authority. We have but one choice: to do it ourselves. Get ready.